Hey everyone, and welcome to the start of Star Wars Month 2026. And what a day to start, because it is May the 4th. So what better day to start the new Star Wars month? This will be the 5th time that I have done a Star Wars month on my channel. I've done it in 2022, 23, 24, and 25. So this will be the fifth Star Wars month on the channel. And I'm going to start off in style by talking about one of the most loved Star Wars video games. Today, I'm going to be talking about Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Now, this game is absolutely incredible. Now, as you can see, I have the PS3 version here. So, let's read the back of the box, shall we? Unleash the power of the Force like never before in a new chapter of the Star Wars saga. Unleash epic Force powers and devastating combos. Discover the untold story of Darth Vader's secret apprentice, set between episodes 3 and 4. Lifelike reactions from characters and environments that are different every time you play. Now then, this game was released in 2008, which was before Disney acquired Lucasfilm, which means this game falls under the category of Star Wars Legends, which means it's not really canon to the current timeline. So this is an entirely different story. So this game is set 3 years before the events of A New Hope. And we start off with Darth Vader and his forces invading the planet of Kashyyyk, and they are basically hunting down a Jedi Knight who is in hiding on the planet. And when Vader finds the Jedi Knight, Kento Marek, he discovers that Kento actually has a son. And so Vader then senses that the Force is strong with him, and so he decides to take him on as his own secret apprentice. And the apprentice is given the code name of Starkiller. And if you're wondering, that's the guy on the box. So the secret apprentice is sent on different missions to eliminate fugitive Jedi all across the galaxy. And that's the first few missions of the game. I mean, the prologue mission is where you actually get to play as Darth Vader, but then you get to the actual missions. And the gameplay itself, it mainly consists of Force powers and lightsaber swings. And one of the cool things about Starkiller is that he holds his lightsaber in a reverse grip, so it's a bit like that. And you can combine your lightsaber swings with Force powers. So do a lightsaber swing, then a Force push, or a lightsaber swing and then charge it with Force lightning. And then you can do lightsaber throws, Force repulses, a lightning shield, and Force grip, and that sort of stuff. It's all absolutely incredible, and it's like really fun hack and slash gameplay. All the different enemies to fight. And eventually there does come a point where Starkiller is declared ready to stand with Vader against the Emperor. But it turns out the Emperor knew of Starkiller's existence, so Vader was forced to betray him. But that was just a ruse to make the Emperor believe that Starkiller was dead. And so Starkiller was then given a new mission to basically gather an army of rebels to fight back against the Emperor. So he manages to track down the first fugitive Jedi that he defeated, Master Rahm Kota, and he also tracks down a few senators who actually wanted to fight back against the Empire, that being Bail Organa, Mon Mothma, and Garmbel Iblis. And they do eventually meet up in on the planet Corellia. But it turns out Vader was just lying through his teeth all along, and Vader basically ordered his apprentice to gather the rebels so he could personally basically arrest them and bring them to the Emperor aboard the Death Star. And so it's at this point that Starkiller renounces the dark side and officially declares himself as a Jedi. And so he then goes in to face Vader and save the rebels. And the level of the Death Star is really good. In fact, all the levels are brilliant. Like, there's the Kashyyyk level at the start, which is just beautiful. Then there are planets like Raxus Prime, which really which are basically like junk worlds. All the junk is there. And then there's Felucia with the teeming jungle wildlife. There's other places like Cloud City on Bespin, and you even go back to Raxus Prime and Felucia after the Empire took control of them to see how things have changed. And the final level on the Death Star, you basically have to go through the Death Star firing chambers where the lasers actually like are generated. That is like really cool. And eventually you do face off against Vader himself, and you manage to defeat him, obviously. But it's quite a tough fight, to be honest. But then you're presented with a choice, because Master Kota is being tortured by the Emperor, so you have to choose whether to confront the Emperor to save him, or head off on your own path and finish Vader off. Now, the true ending is where you face off against the Emperor, and once you do, and you actually manage to defeat him, Kota convinces the apprentice to spare the Emperor's life, but then the Emperor attacks again, and then Starkiller takes it upon him to sacrifice himself so that the rebels can escape. And that's how, and it was his sacrifice that helped the Rebel Alliance come to be. Like, before Disney acquired Lucasfilm and made the story non-canon, this game basically showed you how the Rebel Alliance was formed. And it's honestly really cool that we got to see that. And we also get to see Princess Leia as well, where she and the other senators form the Rebel Alliance, and we actually see her on Kashyyyk as well as a hostage of the Empire. Yeah, so that's what happens when that's the true ending. But then, if you go for the dark ending, which is where you face Vader, you actually kill Darth Vader. You actually finish him off, and then you're asked by the Emperor to finish off your allies, but then Starkiller turns on the Emperor himself, and eventually he is like really badly hurt in the fight, and he basically is encased in like mechanical cybernetic armor, and he's basically made the Emperor's new assassin until further notice. So it's kind of like an alternate ending. You can choose which ending you want to do. That's one of the coolest things about The Force Unleashed. You can actually choose which ending you want. You can choose the light ending or you can choose the dark ending. So basically, you choose. The choice is all yours. And as I was saying about the levels, they're all brilliant environments, and the enemies you face, they're all different enemies, like stormtroopers, militia, Felucian wildlife and Felucians, like the natives, junk droids and Rhodians, dark troopers, and ATSTs, all that sort of stuff, Rancors. Basically, all this different stuff you can think of in the Star Wars universe. And of course, there are the different bosses as well, like the Junk Titan in Raxus Prime. The lightsaber duels you face as well. Those are my personal favorite fights in the game, the lightsaber duels. I just love a good lightsaber duel. And there are also different secrets you can find in the levels, like different holocrons that you can find, and some you can get concept art. You can upgrade your force powers and upgrade your combos, and you can also find different lightsaber crystals to change the color of your lightsaber. Like, you start off with red, but then you can get it as blue, which is like what it is at the throughout the game. Then you can get green, you can get purple, yellow, gold, and black. All absolutely brilliant. And there are different types of crystals as well, like condensed, compression, and unstable. So you can have different effects on the blade. That's really cool. So all in all, Star Wars The Force Unleashed is a fantastic game. It's absolutely amazing. Now, I just want to point out, this is the PS3 version. The first version of the game I actually played was the Nintendo Wii version, which is very different to this. And who knows, maybe I'll do a review of that in the future. Maybe not this year, but maybe in a future video. But it's still a brilliant game. Force Unleashed. Star Wars The Force Unleashed. You guys definitely should check it out because it is absolutely amazing. And it's just a great game. And if you want more from The Force Unleashed, then you could, if you wanted to, find yourself the Ultimate Sith Edition. And that's the version I have here on the Xbox 360, where you can actually play out different scenarios if you get the dark ending, like you play as the new, like, evil assassin, and you can get to go to Tatooine, where you actually face off against Boba Fett and Ben Kenobi, or Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then there's a level on Hoth, where you face off against Luke Skywalker and turn him to the dark side. Absolutely incredible. And there's even an extra level for the Jedi Temple, where you actually face the Jedi Trials and you face off against a darker version of yourself. It's all pretty good. So if you can find this version, that's brilliant. But if you want if you want everything out of The Force Unleashed, then I would recommend looking for the Ultimate Sith Edition. Because if you don't get the Ultimate Sith Edition, then it's just going to be, then all the stuff that was there is going to be available as DLC. So, you know. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this first video of Star Wars Month 2026. Let me know what you guys think of Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Do you enjoy the game? What are your favourite memories of it? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.